Full disclosure from the beginning of this episode, today is a tired 24 kind of day. So things could get a bit ranty, things could get a bit rambly, things could get a little bit weird. We continue off in this season after a very abrupt end of the last episode where, yes, seeing our goaltender's save percentage broke me a little bit. Now, this team has obvious issues. Again, we've had obvious issues for the past 2 seasons, yet we've still found success. I talked about it a bit heading into the season, and I still feel the same way. I don't think, as it stands, things are going to go that well for us. The good thing is it's still early enough in the series that we can turn things around, but there is a very decent chance that at the end of this season, I'm going to hit the reset button. And what I mean by that is potentially just getting rid of players, the 7th round pick swap, getting rid of players and just rebuilding. Because we're at the point now where if we're competing for the playoffs, we're not going to get those higher end draft picks that we need to get this team to where we want them to be. Now, the way we've handled the cap, and yes, I completely botched that Kamel contract. Sorry, and someone mentioned, like, oh, I think he just overlooked it because everyone else rejected. That's what it was. I wasn't paying attention. I was a bit defeated. So, yeah, I kind of screwed myself over there. But you look at, like, the Mizak deal. Again, that really comes back, and it haunts us because, again, you think about that. Having him in the top 6 rather than Benson, that third line suddenly looks a lot better. And then if Kavanagh's on the 4th line with Kapusta and Samard, we look a lot better. But with this team, like I said, as it stands, I think we're going to be potentially good enough that we screw ourselves over. Good enough to maybe make the playoffs like we have over the past 2 years, but in the end, that does more harm than good because we need help. And I don't think this current core is good enough to get the job done, barring some EA wizardry and voodoo, which, again, we've talked about that a lot as of late in terms of the sim engine. And look, yes, in real life, Tampa Bay can lose, but we've talked about that before in terms of how often good teams are losing in the first round. It should be like a 30% of the time, not like an 80% of the time. Like, it is not to say that we're a good team that's gotten screwed out of playoff victories. Not quite. We've kind of been in the state that I just explained for the past couple of seasons. And it is, unfortunately, relatively clear that things are going to be a bit worse for us than they're going to be. The foreseeable future is going to be worse for us as opposed to it being half decent for us, if the start to this season is any indication. Now, we'll see what happens here through December. We'll take a look at the team again. We are on a decent 4-game winning streak here, though. But 11, 17, and 4. Can't say I'm all that optimistic. Make that a 5-game winning streak. Now 6 after a game against the Jets. Can we make it 7? Yes, we can. Do I see 8? We do. Win 9 wins in a row. And suddenly, this team looks a hell of a lot better. Now, this team's been prone to going on streaks before, and they do it again here. And as a result, things are looking just a little bit better for us. Brody Appleby's killing it. Grigorenko, still not quite where I'd want him. I gotta be honest. Holtz is doing well. Benson, it's okay. Nazarov and Grig, though, are about the same in terms of production. And then Joakim Kamel. That third line, Korobov's doing all right. Kavanagh, and then again, Jovo's fine. He's just not a major point getter. That 4th line's struggling a little bit from a point production standpoint, but you look at the overalls, it makes sense. Montgomery doing well, Trafford doing well, Cochran and Doughty, good pairing. Finneganoff and Stewart, not so much, but we have no other options. The goaltending is still shit, unfortunately. Will we ever find a goaltender? I do not know. It's interesting because obviously I can't look to make any changes after a month like that. We have been absolutely killing it lately. So we will continue through January, and if anything, I think this will be a pretty straightforward approach to this regular season. We're just going to go for it and see what happens. Like I said, as the winning streak hits 10 games, there are options for us moving forward. 11 wins, 12 wins in a row, 13 wins in a row, and the streak finally ends against the Dallas Stars. Jesus. There are options for us moving forward. This team could change quite a bit. We've been in this spot, or at least we're at the very least approaching that, this potential scenario, but we've been in that scenario a couple of times in Draft to Glory where it's clear the current team, unfortunately, isn't going to make it. If we pull the plug and hit reset, sooner rather than later, though, there's a chance for the key members of this team to still be useful by the time that next gen comes along. And if you look at the top pairing, on defense in particular, that's what makes sense. If you look at the top D pairing, building a team, getting everything set with those guys still being, in their primes, we're golden. At least you would think. Whether or not we can find a goaltender in that time, I'm not sure. And whether or not the forward core develops enough, also not sure. But we're making the best of it. We're battling back towards a 500 record. Obviously, that ridiculous winning streak helps. But we're 11 points out of the playoffs right now because the Atlantic Division is strong. So it's a wild card battle. We're right in the mix for a wild card spot. But like I said, that's kind of where you'd expect this team to be at best. I mean, if you look at the prior versions of this team that was good enough to make a spot, a top 3 spot, of course this team somehow would be good enough to make a wild card spot, and right now we are in a playoff spot. Is that for the best for us? I don't know. I genuinely don't. It might be better, like I said, to slip up a little bit over these past, over these next few seasons. And in that way, things look better for us long term. But if we make the playoffs, this will be a playoff episode. I can't drag out this last month of simming into another 10 minutes or so. So we'll see what happens here. But at this pace, although back-to-back losses hurt, at this pace, we're going to make it. It's 3, now 4 straight losses. Maybe not. This team's proven to be streaky in terms of winning games. Maybe we can prove to be streaky in terms of losing them. I don't know what to hope for or what to root for. I think I'm at the point where I'm hoping our team loses because I just don't think that even if we make the playoffs, we're going to be good enough to find success. Back-to-back losses to Buffalo will do that to you. But as it stands, April 1st, we're in a playoff spot. It's a wild card spot, but a postseason spot nonetheless. We are above the Devils via tiebreaker. The Blue Jackets are in it. Quite a few teams are still within striking distance as we have 5 games left to go. It will be a wild card spot or nothing as we end this season. 5 wins in our last 10 games. We take on a struggling Ducks team. Can we get the win? Yes, we can. So now on 86 points this season. Again, though, the Hurricanes right there. And as are the Blue Jackets on 85 points. We play the New York Rangers. Very good team, and we lose 3-1. That sees us outside of the playoffs. 87 points is what it will take. We have a game at hand on the Blue Jackets. If we can beat the downtrodden Canadiens, we'll be back in the playoff structure. We lose. We're no longer in control of our own destiny. The Hurricanes on 88 points are in. We're 2 points out of the playoffs. We have to beat Edmonton to keep that dream alive. We get devastated. 8-1. And with that, we crash and burn out of the playoffs. We are the Buffalo Sabres. A massive winning streak. Only to miss the playoffs. We lose 3 straight games at the end of the year. And for the first time in 3 seasons, we miss out on the postseason. And that could set up a very interesting offseason for us if I indeed choose to let go of certain players. It was close It was very close in multiple divisions, but 5 wildcard spots go to the Metro. And again, we are on the outside looking in. Detroit was the #1 team in the league. We finished 17th in the league. The second highest seed to, or the second highest in the league to not make the playoffs. You get what I mean by that, with Columbus being ahead of us and also not making it. Nashville does make it, though. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Like I said, we're in a bit of a state of limbo right now. Alex Holtz led the way with 79 points, 39 goals. Nazarov hit 30 goals again. Appleby, 71 points. Kamel with 64. Korobov hit 52 points. I mean, he's certainly worth what we paid him. But, I don't know, maybe the compensation would have been better, seeing as we missed the playoffs. Grigorenko, disappointing. Only 47 points. It's not good enough. But, for whatever reason, he's not on the power play. So, never mind. That's fine. Why? Had I checked it, maybe we would have made the playoffs. But you can't blame me for not checking to see if my #1 center was on the power play. You'd assume that he would be. I don't know what's up with that. I'll take the blame for it, but you would assume my #1 center would be on the power play. Isaac Benson hit 21 goals without being on the power play, which is pretty damn good. Kavanagh is on the power play. 28 points for him. I mean, from a point production standpoint, we did well. It just had to have been the goaltending that sunk us. I mean, our top 3 defensemen, that's right, I don't include Doughty in that anymore, did very well. And yeah, it's just the goaltending sank us. You know, scoring-wise, it was okay. The top-notch players needed to be up a little bit higher. Goaltending needed to be a little bit better, and we might have made the playoffs. Ultimately, though, we do not, which really, really sucks. So yet again, we're good enough to potentially make it. This time, though, we don't. And like I said, I don't know what the hell that's going to set up here for this offseason. I think it just depends on how this team's looking, what kind of player progression we get. And we'll have a chance to, you know, really sit and think about what we want to do. As the San Jose Sharks win the Stanley Cup, that's the wrong series to happen in. Thanks, EA. Can it please happen in the other one? We'll take a look. Holtz showing up as a 90. The Sharks beat the Sens, the Erik Karlsson Bowl. They win it in 6 games. Taking a look here, the Art Ross went to Shane Wright. Lafreniere won the Hart. Heiskanen won the Norris. Jesus Christ, Detroit. Tyler Seguin, Lee Bing. Niederberger wins the Calder. Lang the Conn Smythe, Vezina the Tarnkvist. So we're definitely getting to that point where there's a lot of computer-generated players that are doing well. Josh Norris won the Selke. Lafreniere the Ted Lindsay. And Shane Wright wins the Rocket Richard. It's 2030. And we are in a very interesting spot. Let's take a look at the progress reports here. First and foremost, so goaltending-wise, some good improvement from Daig, not much from Astles. Bathgate up to a 66, Myers a 63, Goddard a 62. No real improvement from Dominic Grosek, which is not a good look. Defensively, some good improvement from Melnick and Long, Stamkos as well, but still just 76s. DiPietro up to a 72, but he's 22 years old. And then forward-wise, again, some decent improvement, but in terms of greens, Kavanagh, Samard up to a 77. Konopka now a 73. I mean, there was improvement, not enough to really change the outlook of what this team's going to be moving forward. The question is whether or not we can have some extreme luck in the lottery. We cannot. We stay at 15. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Philly moves up from 10 to 3. And I get a big pile of nothing. How can you have a pile of nothing? I don't know. It's a figure of speech. Leave me alone. Retired players, Tyler Seguin. Just under a point a game, or not just under. Jamie Benn retires, Vladimir Tarasenko, Ryan Johansson, JT Miller, Josh Anderson, and more. Defensively, Morgan Riley, Alex Pietrangelo, and the best of them all, Torrey Krug. Goaltending, Connor Hellebuck, Peter Mrazek, Philip Grubauer. The top players calling it a career. I don't really care if we lose any staff members. What I care about is the interview process. Let's see what we have here. Oh, wouldn't that have been nice to win the goddamn lottery? Noah Ferraro. Jesus. So our first pick is right around here with Cato. Now, I doubt any of these guys slip, right? Don't worry, I remember what series I'm playing, by the way. I doubt any of these guys slip. There's a good chance that guy's a power forward. Not a power forward, but a sniper. Same with Kuta, but we don't know for sure. So Cato, hello. It's not too bad. He's a year out. Just gotta get some confirmation. Brashear also might not. He might actually be a power forward because of balance. Novikov on defense. I mean, it'd be taking a defenseman for the sake of taking a defenseman. And there's a whole lot of not available. Skilly is probably going to be worth interviewing. Just to find out. Levo as well. I think if we can risk it to potentially pick up medium elite players, we have to. Because we're so desperate for that high-end talent. So let's take a look here and confirm Johnny Skilly. Mainly, okay, the ETA is already confirmed. So let's interview him on strengths and weaknesses and play style, of course, which is the most important. So shooting is a strength, physical's a weakness. He has to be a sniper or a playmaker. He has to be. Johnny Skilly is a sniper. He must be. So that is an option. I don't know if I'm holding my breath that he is a medium elite, but it would be very, very, very nice if he was. Nico Levo is also available. He is a playmaker. So 2 potential medium elite options. It would be great to be able to confirm, but I think we have to take the risk with one of these 2, even over that defenseman, which is a tough call. And again, there's that defenseman or Cato, who's looking ridiculous. You know what? Let's interview Paul Cato on the same deals. So we could get somebody who's very close to being ready. He's a confirmed sniper. Very close to being ready. Or we take one of the 2 players that could be high-end talent down the road. Those are absolutely the 3 guys that we're looking at heading into this draft. It's just a matter of what direction we go. And I mean, a little bit more well-rounded for Levo. 6'3" sniper, Johnny Skilly. Yeah, Levo's a bit more well-rounded. Skilly has the better shot. And then Cato, again, he's good, but he's going to probably be a medium 6. That's a pretty tough call. Let's do this. For now, the team stays the same. I don't know what the re-sign phase is going to look like. Let's move forward. So Kuta, Rourke, Conan the Barbarian, and the top half of this draft. A couple of high potentials, and the franchise goes to Montreal. So we're down to the 3 players we were talking about. A chance at medium elites, or the sure thing. I'm going for the sure thing. Out of Denmark, Paul Cato is the pick. 74 medium top 6. I'll take it. I'll take it. The question will be, how good are the players that we did not pick? Brashear, Novikov's down there, Schwartz, Stahl, Copeland, Skilly, and Levo, both medium 6s. We made the right call. We made the right call. Thank God. Now, who's available to us in round 2? Well, that's a pretty good question. There's Daniel Dodge as a goalie. Might be half decent since he's as far up the rankings as he is. Let's take a look here at Nickel. We know he's available to us. Anisimov, we don't know a damn thing about. A Gem and Pasi Kiiskinen, I guess it would be. Not bad. Elliot Champion, great name, but not going to be eligible to us. Toms isn't going to be eligible. What about you? He might be, but that's a risk. Sweat has the good shot, but that screams low top 6 to me. Ackerland, was really hoping there would be a sure thing. Unfortunately, there is not, which really sucks. There are a couple of goalies that we could take risks with. Again, the goalie situation isn't necessarily brutal, though. So, Bissonnette, probably a player type that works for us. I don't know a damn thing about Anisimov. Kiiskinen, we just have to hope. I mean, he's 20, though. 3 years out, he can't skate worth a damn. That just screams like he's going to be similar to who we already have. Pekka Häkkinen. Honestly, I'm leaning towards the goaltender. Just because, obviously, when in doubt, take the goalie has been the motto, the credo of which we have lived our lives by for the past few seasons. To be honest, that extra goalie help might not hurt, because I don't know if anybody there is the guy. You know, defensively, we at least have options. Another option wouldn't hurt. Forward-wise, Cato, Fragapani, we could still use a little bit of help up top. Oh, man. No sure thing in this round. When in doubt. When in doubt. Damn. 3 years. Bissonnette is on 4-3-3. I know the 7 seconds. I'm going with Brent Nickel. Damn it. There were a couple of forwards I was interested by due to the ETA. But there was only one defenseman. Dodge was the highest starter. From the looks of it, I didn't make that bad of a choice because this might be a low-end draft. Kiiskinen's alright, but like I said, he's 20 already. So I don't really regret that. It's just he's going to be so similar to someone like Korobov, where it's just like, okay, he's okay, but you know, if he even gets that level, he'll be okay. He's not going to be great. Unfortunately, we've run into some kind of weak drafts over the past few seasons. And just because I'm half panicking for a second, yeah, Nickel's fine. Just about the player type. So Voloshenko might be available, but he's also 20, and I have no idea for sure. Mika Alto, definitely not. Savard, I'm not going to worry about. Holy hell, please actually be. So I'm going to guess he's a grinder. Doesn't mean I won't take him. I didn't do that in the last draft. I'm like, okay, I can kind of know this guy's not that good. I will take Daze out of desperation if I have to. Which, guess what? Probably gonna have to. It's what we're looking at here. Although, Yves Houlet is looking okay. Martinuk. I mean, we might have to take the, the risk here. And a medium goalie. Samu Pentikainen. Confirmed medium elite butterfly goaltender. And that absolutely sucks. Because, man, how I wish I looked this far down the road in the prior round. Because that second round was hot, stankin' garbage. And this is looking okay. I just don't know if we're going to be able to make the most of it. So as far as who we have pinned here, there's Hule, but there's too good of a chance of him actually being a medium 9. I think we have to look at the 3 that might be that good, but probably aren't, with the exception of the goalie. So Daze and Martinook. Or we take a medium elite goaltender. Risk it. Guarantee. Risk it. Guarantee. We're taking Pentikainen. I can't pass up on a medium elite goalie. Even if that means, again, other goalies go via offer sheet, which unfortunately is something that we failed at finding success with in the series thus far. But that's just too good to pass up on. Hindsight's a killer, man. There was such a good chance that he wasn't going to be that good. And if they were both a step off from being confirmed, but both still ended up being medium elite. Do you know how unlikely that is? But it's this series, and it's this game, so of course that just happened. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow. One of these days, I'm going to catch a break in this series. I don't know when. I don't know how. But it's impossible that it won't happen. It's impossible to see this series out and not catch a break one of these days. Are you shitting in my soup? Another medium elite goalie. Had I been able to see 2 minutes into the future, I would have known to take a risk with one of the other two, because there's a goalie. Isn't that just terrific? Isn't it? It's terrific. And by terrific, I mean the worst. Well, it's a good draft for goalies. Maddox Stewart from Poland. We got 2 medium elite goaltenders. I'll never have to draft a goalie again. I hope. I hope. For the love of God, never let me have to draft a goalie again. Schultz, unfortunately, is going to be the player type as advertised. Ramirez, there's just not enough to go off of. Carlton's not looking that good. Chuck Armstrong is the favorite for now. Who else do we have? Him or Ashton Myers? They be the 2 favorites. Dan Hancock is now a favorite. Jesus. Please let him actually be available. I think Jamnov might also be available, but he is not at Hancock's level. Not by a long shot. Let's see, Gourmet Morris. The Italian, Kenneth Jacobs. Do you know anything about Breland? Not much. Enough to know that he's not who I'm picking. Bradley, Devereaux. Okay. I think it's got to be Hancock. For how good those grades are. He's the biggest risk out of the 3. But, yeah. He just can't skate. Everything else is great. Dan Hancock. Why? Why that potential? Why? He couldn't have been a medium 9. He couldn't have been a medium 9. He had to be the worst goddamn potential. He's a two-way, by the way, but I'm pretty sure he was listed as a sniper. You'll let me know in the comments if he wasn't. I'm pretty sure he was listed as a sniper, and I'm allowed to change him. If not, and I made that mistake, then son of a bitch. But whatever, I don't even really want to keep him anyway if I have to get rid of him, because who cares? He's got a worthless potential. Worthless. Worthless. Oh, boy. All right, Gordy Grant. Wow, you suck. You are terrible. Asher Love. Great name. Can't keep you. Terry Bogard. Can't keep you. Emilio Huskins. Worth the shot. Ross Eaton's a monster. Terrell Fast. Might be our next best guess. But there's just a whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing. There's nothing to save my sanity. Nothing at all. Look at it go. It's ever so fleeting. Okay. Well, is there anybody with good grades who magically wants to be available? Anybody? Somebody save me. I'm drowning. Throw me my ducky water wings. There's just nothing. Just nothing. Okay. Well, we'll take from the potential best available. Emilio Huskins. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Tugi's soul-crushing depression power hour. At least he's the low elite, but he's only a 47, which doesn't bode too well for what we're doing. And what even are we doing anymore? Let's go for the younger Rory Persinger. You're probably not available. Tommy Hamainen. I don't even know what to say anymore. In theory, that draft wasn't that bad. In theory. Maybe even in reality. But it feels like a bit of a loss. Because a lot of things about this feel like a bit of a loss right now. Looking forward to the future, goaltending-wise, we have a choice to make with Castles. And whether or not we want to try and accept whatever potential qualifying offer could come through. To be honest, with the way people don't want to re-sign, they're both just going to be qualified. And then we'll have an option. Myers is being dropped. So in theory, if we let go of one of them, that would leave, say Castles goes, Daig, Rice Miller, Grosek, Bathgate. Because Bathgate needs to sign his ELC. So let me know if we get an offer for Castles or Rice Miller, what do we do? I think Rice Miller in particular will certainly be let go. It's just if we get a deal for Castles, what do we do? And this is certainly going to be the approach from now on. We are just going to qualify everybody and handle it from there. Jensen and German, unfortunately, are not good at all. I mean, I'll still qualify them just so that the AHL squad isn't a complete train wreck, but just know it's not looking good. And then Jovo's deal is up. Kapusta is going to need a contract. We have $18 million to spend, by the way. Korobov's deal is up again. Again, we might regret not figuring out that contract because we have quite a few UFAs, including the biggest, Boris Nazarov. So we will advance a day. Bathgate signed his ELC. We have a lot of RFAs, which is not surprising. And then UFAs. Let's take a look here. So Blomdahl, who was a 6th round pick in 2028. You are gone. Gilroy, Jarl Gilroy, second round pick in 2028. You are going to be signed to your ELC. Chance Walton, third round pick in that 2028 draft. You are also going to be signed to your ELC. Konopka might as well be signed. Although, again, I hate that potential with the fiery passion of 1,000 burning suns. And then we have current roster players where we need to figure out what we're doing. Nazarov wants the sun and the moon. Korobov wants the sun and the moon. Cochran does not want that much. Or that's Jovanovski. Cochran also doesn't want that much. Decisions to be made. Especially, too, when you factor in just what the hell this team's going to look like next year. Again, the goaltending in theory, on paper could be decent. The top four, and just in general, the defense isn't going to be that bad. And then forward-wise, we're hurting a bit. We're hurting. And, I mean, if that bottom six can improve a little bit, it might look a little bit better. But yeah, we have some work to do.